know what time it is.
Bless up. Bless up.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know. Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings. Big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the pod, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the thing. So, do it for Deuce and Mo.
Whoa. We are blurry.
Come on, man. What is this stuff lately,
Of course, we
huh?
got back in the studio today, so we got to adjust some things a little. Oh, Kelsey Plumshire? Shout out Morgan Reagan for giving me this.
Thank you. I was like, come on. Oh,
Hey, Night Chat. It's a Friday. It's Christmas Eve. How are you?
What up, Deuce?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Morgan.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm rooting for y'all.
Yeah?
Let's go, Kane.
Appreciate you guys joining us on Christmas Eve as we get all situated and set up. It's looking good now, Morgan Reagan. Oh, man. Got plenty to talk about tonight. And don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom, all right? Win or lose, we're live after every game. We don't care if it's almost Christmas Eve. We're going to be here talking about the team. And, hey, enjoy the ups and downs that come with the season. Now, there's definitely some things you don't like tonight.
No.
But I got to be honest, Morgan Reagan, after the week I had, after everything that transpired this week with how busy we were and how much fun we had, and the fact that tomorrow is Christmas Eve, which is probably my favorite day of the year.
Yeah.
You just can't bring me down tonight. You just
Wow.
can't. You cannot.
Wow. Deucey Claus is in the building.
Adrian said, I came to see the pain in your face, dude. There's no pain in my face. There's probably exhaustion. I mean, we left for the airport today at 5 a.m. It landed in Sacramento around 8:50.
Who
Or up at
knows
5.
anymore?
Airport is, my whole point is we've been nonstop.
No, and this is what's so fun, you guys, is that you've been here for most of this week with a bad loss to start the week with the Kings, and then a good one in the middle, bad one to end. But Christmas Eve is tomorrow, and it's the home stretch. Let's do this.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun tonight. Of course, we're going to talk about what we saw tonight. A lot of lows in this game. We'll talk about the week, talk about Christmas Eve. Let's have some fun, man. Look, I even do a lower third with little Christmas lights on it.
That's really cute.
I'm in the spirit. How's the chat doing? I appreciate,
the
you know what we got to do?
What?
A Christmas Eve roll call.
Let's do it.
Let's give some love to the people who are watching us tonight on a Friday night.
Yeah, a Friday night in like right where the holidays are
Yes.
starting to begin.
Let's start at the very beginning. Shout out to the most bitter guy here, Scotty. I still appreciate him being here.
Hey.
What's up, Jose and Jay and Torch K? What's up, Boost and Joe and Bonus? Bad news, Sour Grapes, who says, if Sabonis is out extended time, goodbye playing. Shout out to Dude Sports. Shout out to Cole. Delivery Joe. Adrian. We got Cole, Roger, Jose, DFW's in the building. Appreciate Shiesty. We got SpaceX Dragon Chicken, one of my favorites. Appreciate him. Gavano, Dominique, Adrian, Adam, Nick. We keep it moving with Roger and Brooke. Brooke, one of my favorites. And she says, okay, I thought that was her comment. I was surprised. Okay, it was Rogers. Did Sabonis kind of limp for Christmas? What? That's not funny. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Whenever I have a Sabonis joke, it's like crickets. Yep.
All right, guys. Make sure if you're here, hit the thumbs up button. I honestly, can we just real fast?
Yeah.
In studio for the first time in a long time.
Oh my God,
and it feels kind of good.
so
we had the
much
two
better.
shows in a hotel room in Vegas.
Yeah.
And then before that, you were in San Francisco.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, this feels good, right? I just like having you here.
It looks good. It feels good. Yeah, the camera and lighting status in the ugly hotel room, it's just like not ideal, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like the Deucey podcast studios where we have 6,000 square feet and just
massive space.
Billions of dollars worth
lighting,
of lights.
I mean,
yes.
our whole staff's here tonight.
Yes. Hey,
it's great.
guys,
Thanks
Merry
for working
Christmas.
on the holiday. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Ham and egg. Kings are overrated.
Jesus.
Who's overrating them? Who's rating them that high? I think people are going, hey, it's kind of a good story. I mean, they're 17-14.
You know what makes me laugh is it after any Kings loss, whether it's ugly like this one, absolutely ugly, or it's just a loss, it's purely like just the opposite of what it usually is. You know, we can always find a middle. And I think the middle of looking at this one tonight is like, yeah, that happens some nights. And it happened tonight. And it sucks that it happened against the Washington Wizards.
All right, let's talk about it. Coming down. 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Hey, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast. We're together in studio again on Christmas Eve after the Kings had an ugly, disappointing loss at home to the Washington Wizards, 125-111. Sabonis went to the locker room at the end of the game. Looked like he was in major pain with that left hand. We don't know his status moving forward. And the Kings headed into Christmas kind of on a sour note.
Yeah, banged up, ugly loss. That sucks.
We have a lot to go over on tonight's show. We'll talk about what went down with the Kings and Wizards. We'll also discuss stuff in a crazy night around the NBA. We'll have some Christmas Eve fun, too, because it's Christmas Eve. I'm Deuce Mason. That is Morgan Reagan. Morgan, how are you?
You already know.
Are you exhausted a little bit? I feel great for someone who's been up since 5 a.m. and started the day in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and you know what? Okay, I'm going to be honest.
Oh, here we go.
Whenever I do hear people, because I feel like people have heard us all week talk about that we're tired and stuff, and it's definitely been part of our identity this week, and I feel bad even saying that I'm exhausted.
Here's the thing,
What?
Morgan. Here's the thing.
'Cause I'm
when
good.
I'm saying I'm tired, I'm not complaining about it.
No.
I had the time of my life. I'm not like, oh, my life sucks. It's so hard. I watched basketball and hung out around executives and watched NBA level talent.
Totally.
Grateful, worked with awesome people. I'm not complaining. It's just a fact. It's been a crazy week.
And I never said you were complaining. And I promise I'm not complaining. It's just like one of those things though where I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm golden, feeling great, flew in really early this morning from Vegas just to consume even more basketball. And God damn it, I wish it was just much better basketball that we got to watch from the Sacramento Kings tonight, because that would have given me the energy burst, though, that I needed, even though I still feel good.
My question, if tonight's Kings game was a Christmas present when you were a kid, you open it up, you're all excited, what would that present be?
I think it would have been a lot like a Christmas present that I think you said you've gotten before, which was the
Cool. That's it's cool. Like, but I was asking like, what would
yeah,
be for
no,
you?
no, and I'm saying what I think we got the same gift at one
Okay.
point, the drum pad. Dun-dun, dun-dun,
I
dun-dun.
didn't get that for Christmas. Why are you bringing up the drum pad? That hurts me. That hurts me.
No, because I got one. What are you talking
You
about?
got a drum pad for Christmas.
Well, and it's even worse though, Deuce, because it said, because I wanted to learn how to play the drums, and it said, to Morgan, love Santa. And this was when I was really young, and I'll never forget it. It was the moment I found out Santa wasn't real, because after I opened it, my mom goes, yeah, I got that down the street from the local music store. And I'm like, Santa.
That's when
brought
you
me
stopped believing in Santa, because Santa is obviously more than real.
Well, and that's what I meant to say, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like he's obviously real.
You started doubting it in a major way.
Yes.
And that's too bad.
Yes.
That your mom would do that to you.
Yes. I forgot kids listen. Yes. Santa, all praise Santa. So yeah, it was just like, kind of, well, now I can't even talk about it because.
I would say this for me. Tonight's game was like opening up a gift from my grandma. Not the one who just passed, one who passed a long time ago, who gave the worst gifts.
I already know what gift that you've told
I
this
know,
gift so
I
many
know.
times.
It was opening up and, oh, look, a wooden like train set.
The
I
amount
wanted
of
video
times-
games. I wanted Hot Wheels. I wanted a Power Ranger toy. You know what I got? I got a wooden little train,
That
wooden car that
probably
no one likes.
would have been worth so much now because it would be like an awesome antique wooden train set, by the way.
Antique. It was not antique. And it wasn't like a train set. It was like one train. It was like, that's what tonight was. It was Christmas. Oh, what kind of PlayStation game did I get? Open up. Oh, wooden train. Cool. It's a block that someone carved.
Well,
that's what tonight's game was. For
Yeah,
the
or a
Kings.
drum pad from a fake Santa,
Yes.
I love how cautious you are.
So tonight, in all seriousness, was probably overall the worst the Kings have played this year. When you factor in everything, right? You're at home. You're coming off a win. The team you're playing tonight, the Wizards, just played last night in Utah, similar to the Hornets game, right? Where they were on the second night of a back-to-back. And you were just kind of bad in all facets of the game, right? It was missed shots, not a lot of ball movement, settling, and then defensively. And I don't know if it was the missed shots that led to this, but after the missed shots, how many like straight line drives, backdoor cuts, slashes to the basket that the Wizards get in this game? They had 70 points in the paint. Guys could not defend anybody tonight.
No, I mean, the Wizards shot 55% from the field, right? A little over 55%. And they were making everything, but they were getting to their spots very easily, right?
Easy.
It wasn't like, oh man, they were making everything. There was so much pressure, perimeter pressure, contest shots, hands in the face. Guys were moving great laterally. No, and I don't even know. I think some people would like to call it an effort thing. It's hard for me to use that with this Mike Brown squad so far this season. I don't feel like I've really seen many games this season where it's like you're just like, guys didn't bring the effort tonight. Sometimes it's more like they just didn't have it, right? And I felt like it was one of those nights for the Kings again on their home floor.
Well, Malik Monk, my question is, what happened tonight?
They just didn't feel us, man. We let them do whatever they wanted to do. They just ran whatever they wanted to, with no bumps. We didn't bump them at all, didn't hit them at all. Yeah, they just punked us tonight.
70 points in the paint. Do you feel like that exposed you guys not having, a backup big man after Sabonis?
Nah, man, we got to guard the ball. Too many straight line drives, too many fast break, live turnovers. Too much of everything, man. Like I said, we just let them do whatever they want to do.
Yeah. That's what it was, right?
You get down 30 on your home floor. That fan base, that crowd tonight at the game wanted it so bad. The Kings cut it to 18 at one point, and you would have thought they were up by 18 with how the crowd was reacting. They wanted it so bad.
Yeah, I think that was the toughest part too. There were so many people in attendance that were like coming home for Christmas and being like, hey, I hope to see that beam tonight. And they're not going to see the beam. They're probably not going to get to come to another game because the holidays is what brought them home. And it's just even more sad that it was a loss like that. You know, Hassan Minhaj was in attendance too, and so he had to see a shitty Kings loss as well.
He
so
did.
It's tough. It's tough. You don't like to see this around the holidays, especially when everyone's hyping up how well this team has been playing, and they look like dog shit.
It just came out of nowhere.
Really?
I love it. You know what it is? I feel like I have a lot of energy right now.
Yeah.
And I can tell you're a little tired.
No, you're tired.
It's not a shot at you. I'm not taking a shot.
I swear.
But I don't know. We're just kind of talking. Like, yeah, they were just dog shit. I know, it's great. I mean, they wore tonight. Let's hear what Mike Brown had to say. How do you explain what happened in this game, Mike?
Our communication wasn't always great. And then our multiple effort to contest to finish, another one of our staples wasn't there. We started the first half. Keegan closes out to Kuzma. Great contest, but he stops and he watches Kuzma go get the offensive rebound and has a little putback. So we deserve to get our behinds kicked like we did, and it's a shame because we maybe had 2 or 3 guys. Trey was one of them, and obviously Domas was the other one. Play extremely hard. I thought offensively, we were probably about as selfish as I've seen us, especially in the first half. We talked about moving the ball from one side of the floor to the other, which is one of our staples, ball reversals. We talked about paint touches and sprays, which we've been pretty good at. And we talked about quick decisions. And in that first half, I probably saw more no-pass shots or one-pass shot with the ball on the same side than I have in any game on the course of the year. And again, it's a shame because the one thing you want to be able to do is say we left it out on the floor in terms of our grit and our hard play, but they were just better than us tonight. Now, you give them credit because they were better than us tonight, but I do not feel we brought the grit and the effort that we needed to bring to win a ball game.
2 things to that.
Yeah.
One, I definitely know I'm tired because I was losing my patience with his ability to get the words out. It was just like the slowest that Mike Brown was ever talking. I was like, get it out. And then toward the end, right at the end when he said the no grip part, I was like, yes, on point. That's what it was. It just felt like they didn't bring that toughness. They did not bring that grit to like stop a guy after he's chirping it up like Kuzma was out there on the court. Yeah, it's like they just didn't feel like doing the dirty work tonight.
Well, you knew it was bad because at the half, it was 68-50. Washington had 18 assists and just 1 turnover at the half.
I recall.
The Kings did have a bet when they got down 30 in the third quarter, when it's just like, are you kidding me? That's how you start? Like the Wizards start the third quarter on an 8-0 run. You're like, what? This is just too easy. That group he put in there, Mitchell, Monk, Barnes, Lyles, and Sabonis, they battled, right? They were able to like carve into it. And I'm thinking, God, if you can just get it to 15 or so headed into the fourth, you might give yourselves a chance to like steal something or make it interesting. But they just couldn't do it. They couldn't get enough stops. There would be too many missed shots. I mean, they were missing a ton of shots, selfish, some bad turnovers. And then defensively, it was a mess tonight. This was honestly their worst game, I think, this year, all the way around in terms of how they played the approach. You know, we're talking about raising standards and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, they have to be better than that.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you, especially when we hear them respond after some of the bad losses that they have had earlier this season, and like Sabonis came up after that game and said, talked about protecting home court. The response after was decent. It's frustrating when you don't see that response just keep growing on each of these games. Again, Monday night, you lose against the Hornets on your home court in that fashion, right? And then I wouldn't say the win against the Lakers was the response. The response was supposed to be really tonight's game against another team that was playing their second night of a back-to-back and have a crap record.
They do. I do want to say this about the Wizards and watching them tonight. They're better than this record. You know, Beal missed a significant portion of the season. Hachimura missed games. Porzingis has missed games. Porzingis missed last night's game against Utah. When I say their starting five to you out loud, you go, not bad.
Yeah.
Morris, Beal, Gafford's solid. He's not great. Porzingis, who's been really good, did not have much of an impact scoring tonight. He was 2 of 11 with 7 points, but had 13 rebounds. Kuzma was outstanding. Kuzma had 32 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, they're not a bad team. But that doesn't excuse the fact that you can't be down 30 at home. I mean, come on.
No.
You've got a game and then you have 4 days off. Like, you want to end it the right way. You want to build off what you did against a bad Lakers team the other night, who just, by the way, lost to the Hornets at home tonight. That's why I was so disappointed.
Well, that, and when I know you can talk about the individuals, the names that are on this squad, I feel like when you do look at the Wizards' record, though, it's more of how they play basketball as a team, right? Like, even when we were at the G League Showcase, we talked about it after how you could tell the teams with some of the best offenses in the league were just really playing a team style of basketball. Like, it wasn't individuals trying to showcase themselves. And I'm not saying with the Wizards it's guys trying to showcase themselves. I'm just saying that they have a lot of good individual players. That's why I think their record is also part of the way that it is, you know, also through injuries, but also because of their style of basketball.
But
you know,
I would say this, though. I mean,
what?
Since Beal's gone back, they beat the Suns.
Right.
Even that Utah game last night, they were shorthanded without Porzingis. They battled in Utah last night, and then they come to Sacramento and win.
Yeah,
like,
he's the manager.
I think sometimes we like, oh, I can't believe the Kings lost to this team. It's like, no, like, they've got some talented players. Beal can be at an all NBA level. Kuzma tonight was fantastic. And watching, when I rattle off those names too, when I mentioned Kuzma, Porzingis, Gafford, Hachimura, those 4 guys are long. And I swear, every time you see a longer team, a team with a little more athleticism, that's where the Kings, I think, really get exposed, especially defensively. Because, look, we've given HB a lot of love. I did it last night, chat. But, like, Kuzma got the best of him tonight, right?
Yeah.
Like, Keegan had some issues staying in front of guys at times tonight. And there's some tough matchups. Also, before the game, I was watching the interaction. Kuzma and Fox talking a lot, like laughing with each other. Kuzma was pointing over to the Kings bench. It's clear Kuzma wants to find a new home. I know for a fact that when he thought he was coming to Sacramento, he was beyond excited to come to Sacramento. The Kings thought they had him at one point. He thought he was coming to Sacramento in that Buddy Hield trade with the Lakers that fell apart. It's something to watch for sure. And watching him tonight, not that you're going to expect 32 from him. He's not the best shooter, but man, you think about a long, athletic guy who could finish at the rim, who's a good slasher. You're going, he could help this team. Like, it's not crazy to see. I don't know how they would be able to get it done, but you could see why he would help this team.
I always find it interesting whenever we have brought up Kyle Kuzma and what he could do. People, I forget what they compare him to. It's always a poor man game of, and whoever they try to compare him to. And I think some people are just going back on some of his bad moments in basketball, right? And I think he really has done a good job of developing his game through all the different squads that he's been playing with. And
he played with an edge tonight, man.
And that's
he played
exactly it.
Inspired.
Yeah.
Played with some force.
Yeah. And you see that on a team like the Wizards that have had their struggles, that have had their challenges, and are playing their last game of a long road trip tonight and still coming out the way that they did. Like, hats off to them.
I was impressed by him tonight. I really was. You know, I feel like getting him would be a solid move, and then watching him tonight, I'm like, man, I do like a guy who chirps a little bit. Do the Kings really have that?
Wait, trips?
Chirps.
Oh, chirps. I was like, trips?
Yeah,
like,
I love guys who trip on the floor. Like, just give me a couple good trips a game, and I'm all in. No, but chirps a little bit, has a little talks a little shit, you know?
As long as you back up the shit talking, like I'm cool with chirping a little.
And, he's had some nice defensive moments too. But tonight I thought he was outstanding. The Kings have problems with teams like this. They really do. And it's something as the season goes on, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it, and how Monty McNair handles things with this team, looking at ways to tinker and improve it. But yeah, tonight was just disappointing. You're down 30 at home to the Wizards and you lose. It's 125-111.
I will say this. I had moments of hope in that fourth quarter when they got it down to like 17 or 16 or whatever it was at that point. They were putting on the backcourt press and it was slowing down their game. It was making life a little harder. But then when you'd see the breakdowns, it was just so bad.
Yeah.
So deflating.
And God, was he searching tonight, Mike Brown. I mean, I know we talked about it after the game searching, but, he went to Kate off the bench, did not like what he saw. There was some defensive breakdowns, communication breakdowns, guys not rotating like they're supposed to.
Yeah.
The low man not coming over, defending. And those were leading to easy buckets inside, just disappointing. He ends up playing Rashawn Holmes tonight. He ends up, he in the second half, he decides to play KZ Okpala. I think KZ got in there late third quarter, minute 10 to go. He puts KZ Okpala in the game when they're down. And my one thing with that, I'm like, I don't know why you wait to put KZ in, because you're getting torched in their length. And I guess, again, I know KZ it's complicated with him, right? Because he'll do some nice things defensively. But tonight, what happened? He got a corner three. They put out a lineup at one point that had KZ out there with Fox, Monk, Lyles, and Holmes. God, talk about some spacing issues. But KZ gets an open corner three, bricked it. Then he had a layup that I think would have cut it to 16. It was a great look.
Oh,
and
yeah.
somehow missed it.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go, this is kind of the challenges, right? It's like you want
have to be efficient in those moments, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to capitalize on those moments. You're given a short leash, and you just have to find a way to finish the easy bucket or to really, really play your role.
But you know why you put KZ in earlier is because the first half there was some of those issues, and I wanted to see get some stops defensively. You get a turnover all of a sudden. The Kings are at their best. Sometimes when they're like that, they're getting their stuff fast. The ball's moving around, catching the defense on their heels, and they just couldn't do it. I mean, you look at tonight, Wizards. They only had 10 turnovers in this game. They had 30 assists.
Yeah, they did a great job of taking care of the basketball. I think they're pretty good at doing that in the league. I forget. I shouldn't say that unless I remember the stat. So yeah, they did a great job though tonight. Really taking care of the ball, being efficient with their offensive possessions. And I mean, at times it's like, what are you going to do when they're making all their shots?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Does anyone know that impression?
If you know
that, you win our admiration.
Yep, all of it.
What are you going to do? Who's better at doing it though,
Okay,
honestly?
do it.
What are you going to do? Oh, that was a bad one.
Yeah, that was awful. That was... What are you gonna do?
That's pretty
good.
Yeah.
Let us know. Anyway, I was gonna say about the defense. Yeah. So when they're making shots like they're making them tonight, that's just when you have to put some sort of different type of intensity into your game. Because I still thought the Kings were being physical at times, but their physical play led to some fouls. And being intense and playing with grit is a different type of game.
Man, a lot of interesting guesses, which just proves to you that what we just did not hit at all. Gilbert Grape, Lilo and Stitch.
Okay,
the Clumps, Cookie Monster. It's from Big Mouth.
Anybody Rick from Big Mouth?
You guys haven't seen Big Mouth on Netflix?
It's great.
Come on, guys.
You should probably watch it.
Honestly, it's a phenomenal show. Phenomenal. Yeah, and look, the other thing tonight, when you look at this game, Sabonis had a triple-double again. 20 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists. Not very efficient, though. He was 5 for 14 in the game. He was 10 of 10 from the line, which is a great sign. The bigger concern now is late in the game, late in this game, he was in a tremendous amount of pain with this left hand.
I know.
And ends up going to the locker room, leaves the game. And remember, going into that Lakers game, he was questionable with left hand soreness. So this is clearly something that's bugging him right now. He has got a high tolerance for pain. He looked like he was in a lot of pain. Obviously, no shit alert. Like, if they have to play any extended time without him, it's going to be some major trouble for this team. And you see it just tonight when he's not on the floor. Again, the backup 5 situation is a mess. It is. I mean, going into the season,
Yeah.
I did not think this was going to be a problem for Sacramento.
Well, let's start with this, though. We talked about this before. If Sabonis is not in there, a lot of the identity of the team changes. There's been those flashes where you see the second unit being able to carry them enough, or De'Aaron is a good game manager and is able to still carry on the fast-paced identity of the team. So they're getting stops on the defensive end and pushing it to really get those points on the board. But when you are just playing against teams like they were tonight and they weren't getting those stops and just things weren't going their way, it's tough when you're really not going to have a guy out there that commands so much movement without the ball, that commands this identity of basketball that has been so successful for this team. And now going to exactly what you're saying about the backup 5, it hasn't been pretty this year. And you're not going to see a lot of offensive production from what they have right now. But how do you work with what you got and or make some changes?
I mean, I don't know what they have. And, it's like, do you at some point even try Alex Len again at that backup 5? Like, I don't think Len is trash by any means.
I don't either.
So it's just interesting because they have all these guys, Rashawn Holmes, they've got Keita, right? And Metsu doesn't play anymore at this point in time. So they're in a really, really tough spot with that backup 5. So you just got to hope that it's not going to be a long-term thing with Sabonis, maybe a few days off, some treatment, and he's ready to go against the Nuggets.
Yeah, I'm reading some people's chat about just Len and what he can provide, and I don't know. It's scary to even think about this team not having Sabonis, but we knew it was going to be a realistic possibility, and here we are with just even an injury. No matter what, that can alter his game, even if he's still out there on the floor.
Deucey Claus would like to offer up a gift to you and everybody here with us tonight.
What?
Do you want me to get it?
Like something?
No, Morgan, it's called the gift of perspective.
There we go.
And this is what, and maybe... You gonna call me soft on this?
Something.
I dare you to call me soft for saying this.
No, I just wanted a gift, but go on.
Yeah, here's a gift of perspective.
Okay.
The Kings are 17-14 as we approach Christmas. Deucey Claus would like to give you this note. Last year at this time, they were 13-20. The year before that, they started the season in December, so we can't count that. But in the 2019-20 season, under Luke Walton, at Christmas time, they were 12-18.
What are they right now?
17-14. Perspective. You know? It's not great. I think the most disappointing thing as we get back to tonight real fast.
I'll take it as a gift.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Is I looked at this week and went, you can go 3-0. And you gave away 2 games on your home floor. Like, the Charlotte game just sucked. It was so disappointing, right? Tonight really, really sucked because that team, I'm like, maybe they run out of gas at the end of the second night of back-to-back, but you got punched. You got bullied tonight. And those are the things you don't want to turn into habits. In fact, Mike Brown was asked about this after the game by Sean Cunningham. Like, are you concerned at all that this team is building some bad habits? Here's what Mike Brown had to say.
Our communication wasn't. Yeah, I'm always concerned with that, Sean, because we have a lot of players on this, on this team that haven't won at a high level consistently, and so all this is new for us as a group, and we have to understand, no matter who's in front of us, how hard we have to play and how unselfishly we have to play offensively in order to get a win. If we think we're going to just show up and go through the motions because of our record is what it is, we're going to be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's straight to the point. It's true. And I like what he said even about guys just not even having the experience of winning at a high level or playing this type of good basketball on a consistent level in this league. And so there's still so much to learn. But when there's 2 games in 1 week that were lost with bad habits, it's concerning, right? You're like, wait, you didn't learn and adjust from the one that you just had earlier the week? I mean, sure, you beat the Lakers and great. That's, I mean, a win's a win in the NBA. You'll take it. Who cares that Russ and AD were out? You'll take it. But it's just like, yeah, the response and the want to adjust. And it was like both those losses, points in the paint. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the way that both those teams got in the paint and just scored efficiently in there.
Let's get to some super chats. Shout out to Schnoa, who donated $5, saying, true or false? Kings don't have a killer instinct against teams they should beat. No urgency.
Ooh. Well, I would say true as of this week, only because you look at the teams like the Hornets and the Wizards.
You can't be losing these games at home. And
No.
that's just the reality, because look what's ahead. Coming up, 27th and 28th, you play a weird home back-to-back against the Nuggets. That's a really good team, obviously, with a talented player in Jokic. And if Sabonis doesn't play, well, I don't even want to think about that, right? So, yeah, these are games where now you have to make it up, right? You have to go get a game that maybe you think you can't get down the line, because losing at home to the Hornets and then even tonight to the Wizards is just disappointing. Like, again, it's the NBA. These losses happen, blah, blah, blah. I know. It's not that they lost tonight. It's how they lost. It's all the things that we've hit on tonight.
Yeah. No, I think that's the fairest way to go about it. It's just like, it's one of those nights that you're going to have. I'm not nervous for this team yet.
Yeah.
I'm just more disappointed, I guess you could say, which sometimes is worse.
Fourth Quarter Sports donated and has a question. Would you two be down to work together sometime? My channel has 10,000 subs. Love what you do. Well, we appreciate it. And if you're talking about collaborating,
Thank
I
you.
mean, we can definitely talk. We'll check out your channel or something for sure.
Too kind.
Appreciate you being here and hanging out with us. Keegan Murray had a really good game the other night against the Lakers. Hit 6 threes,
Oh my God.
23 points.
He was looking hot.
Tonight, 3 points on 1 of 8 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3. Obviously, Mike Brown wasn't pleased because he brought his name up tonight with some defensive mistakes from Keegan. The one thing I'd say, he ends up playing 22 minutes. Sometimes I just want to let the rookie figure it out. And I know it's a fine line too, right? Like, I think Mike Brown's looking at where the score was. Hey, we cut to 19, 18, 20 points. Like, we're still kind of in this. And Lyles is giving us some good minutes. And Lyles provided some good energy tonight.
Yeah.
Give him his love. Like, I love what he brought when he came in and helped cut that lead from 30 to whatever. I just think Keegan's going to have to figure it out sometime, like through the struggles. And I think at times Brown is very quick to be like, we're searching here. Boom. And
He absolutely is.
You want to have standards, but like Keegan needs to just go out there and like, okay, I made this mistake. I need to fight through it. I need to go out there and make some shots. And I don't know that putting him on the bench is helpful.
Well, one of the worst things that you can do for at least competitors, guys that really care, is take away their playing time, right? And I don't think he tries to do it as a punishment. I think he does it as a lesson. And it's like, look, you're not going to play if you make that mistake over and over and over again that I already told you not to make. And I think sometimes for us, from the outside, we look at it going, oh, but he's a rookie. Like, let him find his way through. And maybe Mike Brown's standards in a game is just much higher. And it's like, I don't give a shit that you're a rookie. You're an NBA player. And I've told you time after time, like, don't let that miscommunication happen. Don't let that rotation happen. Whatever it may be that he is screwing up on the defensive end. And for him, figure it out, but figure it out with the minutes that you're playing. You're seeing that with every guy. Like Mike Brown does that pretty much with every guy on his roster.
Yeah, so Keegan ends up playing 22 minutes, and then you look at what Lyles was able to provide. He played 23 minutes. Lyles had 14 points, 4 rebounds, 6 of 6 shooting, 2 of 2 from 3. Here's a question that someone on social media brought up, and I do think it's interesting. The Kings are clearly searching at the 5 right now. And I know he's a little undersized, but he is strong, right? He's a bigger guy. Could you get away with Trey Lyles back up 5? I mean, against 4 sometimes he gets exposed defensively, but in certain matchups against 5s, I think he's strong enough. He may not have that same height, right? But he's strong enough to maybe hang with the 5s, and he can space the floor a little bit. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. Right now, is it a long-term fix at all?
They're Band-Aids. They're Band-Aids, right?
He's listed at 6'9", by the way.
Yeah, as a Band-Aid, but I still like you're.
No, they don't.
You're right.
The
right.
options are not good. Morgan, the backup 5 has been a Band-Aid all year, right? Like Metu was that for a minute, and he had some moments. Metu's out of the rotation right now. Doesn't mean he can't come back in, but he's out. They tried Nemias Queta. Okay, it's been up and down. Lakers looked all right. A good matchup, right, against an undersized Lakers team with Wendy and Gabriel.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, there is a matchup advantage there. Tonight, not so good. Rashawn came in, hit or miss. I thought he did a couple nice things with tip outs, getting rebounds, but they don't have an answer there. I do think at some point, I'm like, I don't know. See, we're searching. We're going, do you go Alex Len? Do you go Trey Lyles?
And I feel like everything that we keep mentioning isn't going to be the answer in Mike Brown's, I guess, his philosophy and how he plays his game, especially on the offensive end. But I talk about the offensive end, but it's the defensive end as well for a lot of these guys, right? People had those concerns with Domas Sabonis to start the year with his defense, and right away he responded. Less fouls, more verticality, has gotten better and better moving laterally, and you just wanted to see that from the backup bigs, and you're not seeing that on a consistent basis. So that's why we can keep saying, they need to find that piece, but where is that piece? I saw someone mention early on, like, Orlando has every big in the league. Yeah. And it's like, and how do you go about that? I don't know those answers.
Well, it's something the Kings have to figure out with the roster at some point, but they lose tonight 125-111. De'Aaron Fox in this one, after a slow start in the first quarter, he ends up scoring 13 in the second, finishes with 26 points. He had 7 rebounds, 3 assists on 9 of 16 shooting. He did get to the free throw line 13 times in this one, but missed 5 free throws.
He had that one really nice jam. I forget what.
That was Sabonis finding on that cut. And you felt like that was maybe going to be a momentum play.
Yes, I did. And it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't enough. It was a really nice throwdown. But overall for De'Aaron, I thought he did a good job of staying aggressive, especially after not being scoreless like throughout the first and half of the second quarter. I mean, was just not being productive on the offensive end at first, got more aggressive, ended up finishing this one with over 20 points. And it was the way that he was getting back into the paint, not being afraid of long arms in front of him and understanding like how he could be crafty and finish around the rim.
If you're in the chat, I need you guys to do me a huge favor. Hit the thumbs up button. All it does is help our channel grow. Hit that thumbs up. Let's get well over 100. And also make sure you subscribe as our chase is on to 9,000 subs. All right. Let's go. I guess he's in his car right now. Let's check him out. He is the one and only Nick. Nick, welcome in tonight, chat. I can barely hear you, Nick.
What's up, Deuce?
Can you talk into your phone the right way?
Hi, Nick.
Nick, we cannot hear you. Why, have you talked into the phone before? This is your first time? Why are you covering up the microphone?
Better?
No, it's literally worse.
Is this better?
No, it's not better. It's getting worse by the second.
Is it better now?
You know what? Somehow, because it's by your ear, it is better. We see deep into your ear canal at this moment.
How are you doing today, Deucey Mo?
Aw, we're good, Nick. How are you?
We lost tonight, but we played terrible tonight, but we should have won this game. How is Washington? How did Washington win this game? They oh my gosh, we did not play good defense. We gotta play better.
I also love the fact that the person in the background keeps saying terrible, terrible, terrible.
That's my friend David.
Tell David that you're on the phone and the pipe down.
You guys are funny.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
So Nick, what do you ask for Christmas, man?
Well, I want a King's Pass for Christmas.
A
and
King's...
it's $129 for January.
Okay, but here's the thing, Nick. You're at every game anyway.
Yeah, why not be at every game?
All right, besides the King's Pass, what else did you ask for?
Some new clothes, new pants.
New pants?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Why do you need new pants, man?
Because I do.
Oh, okay.
I need some new pants.
To hold up his pants.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need to tell David. Was that his friend's name, David?
Yes.
David.
Yeah.
I'm talking. Say David. Yeah, David. I'm talking to Nick. I don't need you in the background with commentary.
Yeah. Hey, the Kings need to win. We play Tuesday. We gotta beat Denver.
All right.
Hey, Morgan. Why not beat Denver?
Why not be Denver?
I'm sorry to interrupt. I do have a question for Nick.
What's your question?
Nick, what's your favorite Christmas song?
My favorite Christmas song is Jingle Bells.
That's your favorite?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
How's it go?
Had a very shiny. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose.
Yeah. And if you ever saw it,
you should say it close.
Deuce would say it close. Yes.
Deuce would say it close.
Yeah. Hello.
What's another one of your favorites?
Well, let's see.
Okay, fine. Let me ask you this. What's your favorite Christmas movie? What?
Christmas. I like the Polar Express.
Polar Express.
Aw,
all right,
one,
Nick. Well, I don't know. We're seeing your ear. I hope that's your ear.
It is his ear.
Yes.
Okay, make sure you have an awesome Christmas. We appreciate you, Nick, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, sleep dreams.
Sleep dreams, Deuce and Mo.
Merry
Sleep
Christmas.
dreams.
Merry Christmas to you too.
All right, bye, bud.
Bye.
There's Nick checking in.
Got to see everything going on in his ear. Looks clean. Looks good.
Polar Express, man. A couple of mentions of Die Hard, and this debate is always funny to me. It's just like because it's not a debate, right? Like Die Hard is clearly not a Christmas movie. No one goes, "Hey guys, it's time to watch a Christmas movie tonight." Oh yeah, what are we gonna watch, Papa? Die Hard.
What?
No one is doing that.
Papa?
No one
is saying that either.
I don't know. I didn't have a dad growing up. Is that you don't call your dad Papa?
No.
What do you call your dad? I don't have a dad.
Hey, Dad, what are we going to watch for Christmas?
That's what you say.
Shut
hey,
up, kid.
That's okay.
Yeah, right. He would never.
Shout out to Kenneth, who just donated $50. And he donated 50 memberships on YouTube.
Give me a hell yeah.
Thanks, Kenneth. Merry Christmas to you, too.
My favorite Christmas movie, it's so hard to even say, but I guess for me, it's, you know how I feel about Christmas, right? If there's one thing I get like really into, it's just, it's not even so much the gift giving, it's just Christmas, right?
It just
It's the
feels
lights,
good.
Watching Home Alone 1 and 2, Elf.
Okay, you were going to
A
name your
Christmas
favorite
Story.
Christmas movie, and then you just went on a tangent
Home
about
Alone.
Christmas.
Home Alone.
Home Alone what?
Home Alone 1, the first one.
Okay.
But like A Christmas Story is great to me.
Uh-huh.
I love Elf. Elf has turned into a classic.
Totally.
Why can't we get a new Christmas movie that turns into a classic? We haven't had it. Elf came out in like 2003.
Well, I mean, you can't force it. And I feel like nowadays, if you go on Netflix, my goal is to watch every single Christmas rom-com that is on there. I've never done this, but I think it'd be really fun to try and do that. You know what I mean?
That's fun to you?
Hate watching shitty movies?
Yeah, but
yes.
No, it is that for sure. But it
you.
is still, you have to, before you get there, you have to do this, get the staples in, right? You got to watch the ones that are good.
I'm not talking about a,
Do you
a
like
schedule
Christmas?
right
Do you
now.
like Christmas? Like, are you?
That
No.
Come on. Like, does a bear shit in the woods? Oh, like, really? Of course.
Okay, I didn't mean to offend. It was
Like,
a question.
I love the feeling that Christmas brings. I think Christmas brings. I mean, I always gain like 20 pounds in December, which is totally fine.
We all do.
Yeah, like I mean, whatever. Don't care. Get my pants a size bigger. But everything about it, it's just like a good vibe, the aura. And that's why, like, even just not to bring it all the way back to this, but even tonight at the Kings game, it's fun. You're out in Doco and there's the trees all lit up and everyone's like in Christmas sweaters and you're excited. And so then when a game like that kind of goes to shit, you're like, aw, the vibes go down. But that's why I also feel like it being Christmas Eve tomorrow, my vibes are going to go straight back up.
What's on your Christmas list for the Kings? I'd like to know from you and the people in the chat. Like, if you, hey, last minute Christmas, I watched the game tonight. Dear Santa, here's what I need ASAP.
Okay.
For the Kings.
By the way, you can write Santa on Christmas Eve and he still gets it to you.
I know, but you got to get it done soon. Like it's.
I mean, you have like 24 hours at this point. Come on. And if you didn't come on. So what I would write, and I have 24 hours to think about this, but I guess I'll get it done now. A way to get some sort of solid backup big. And I think that's in the generic realm, right? It's like, well, who is that? What does that mean? Does that mean rim protection? Does that mean a guy that can produce offensively? And I don't know what it is exactly. Like, it's not like you need another Sabonis. There isn't another Sabonis out there to get. What does Mike Brown need from a big? Because I there's so many on this roster,
at
big
this point,
and tall.
You just need someone that can come in and get a rebound and like be competent defensively. Right?
Well,
like
and run through a motion offense though.
Hey, can you play 15 minutes? Can you play 15? You can't be in a point where you're playing Sabonis so much. You know, Mike Brown was asked about that before the game, about all the minutes he's been playing. And he said the ideal minutes for Sabonis for him is 32. He said 34 is pushing it. Guy's been playing 40 minutes a night.
But I feel like there's pieces on this squad that can be utilized the right way. And not to say like it's Mike Brown not using them the right way, but is it? I don't know. I don't know at this point, honestly, because I feel like there's definitely guys capable on this squad to be competent out there. And that's what you're basically asking for at this point.
All right, here's one name that someone in the chat brought up. What about Mason Plumlee, who is in the final year of his deal? I mean, you saw him the other night. I mean, we're talking about a backup big, right?
Yeah.
We're not talking about someone that's going to be here like super long term, but he's been on good teams before. We've mentioned Isaiah Hartenstein before. Nerlens Noel's been mentioned, but this year Plumlee is averaging 10 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists, a guy who could pass a little bit. So you're trying to find someone with a little more skill, something Noel doesn't really have, in my opinion, with that in the passing. If you got someone like Plumlee on an expiring deal, and on the flip side, you're going, oh, why would the Hornets do that? Well, they're a bad team, one. They've got Mark Williams, who you just talked to the other day.
My God.
Right? Like maybe do they start to play him more, right?
Yeah.
He was at the G League Winter Showcase playing for the Greensboro Swarm.
He was dominating.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe they've got other bigs on that roster. That's someone where you go, okay, he could help. You know, he started games in this league.
And you're saying like in a trade too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking about now. I mean, that's an interesting Christmas list. I'm being a prisoner of the moment tonight. I think I'm on the Kuzma train a little bit right now.
But how do you make that happen?
Yeah, I know.
You know?
Because you don't want to do something that's a lateral move either. You want to literally make something that's like, okay, we made this move and we are clearly better. But Yeah, I'm very interested. Plumlee is not a bad option as a backup 5.
No.
And who said that in the chat? I missed it.
Oh,
But
someone said, yeah, because I hadn't even, that one didn't really cross my mind. But I appreciate it. And then I do think, like, if they did have a trade and it was someone like Holmes to the Hornets, picture LaMelo Ball and Rashawn Holmes in the pick and roll. I think, I mean, my point is, I think, like, he could be utilized the right way.
I don't think they would take Rashawn's contract. That's my opinion.
Okay.
That's what's tough about where the Kings are at with their situation, like their assets. It's like, Rashawn, I don't think anyone's excited to trade for that deal, even if you think you could, like, he could thrive in your situation. You've got some expiring deals, but not a ton. And Terrence Davis and Alex Len. It's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy. A couple people mentioning DeMarcus Cousins. I just don't see it happening, and I think there's many reasons for that.
Yeah. No, it's not. I mean, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
No. I can say that with confidence.
He doesn't solve any defensive issues. Like, okay, he might be able to pass a little bit. He can score, but there's limitations there too.
Someone else, Bass, said Dwight Howard would be awesome. If you guys saw what he was just doing in...
He was getting it with Simbular,
but
the King's icon.
He was just being a dick. Like, he was doing his whole thing where he just, tries to get in your head. And I'm like, it just sucks to see. It's like, that's what he has to rely on now, right? Because he doesn't have the same game that he once did in his younger days.
Crazy night in the NBA, by the way, we got to talk about in a second, but it wouldn't be a night check. And we haven't talked to people on night chat in a minute because we didn't have this set up. Let's check in with our pal. Jamie is here on night chat. What's up, Jamie?
Hello, Deuce. Hello, Morgan.
Oh, we got people on Twitter Spaces too. I wasn't even paying attention. We'll get to those in a second. What's up? What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Are you guys excited for Christmas on Sunday?
Yeah.
Can I be honest?
What?
I think Christmas Eve is far superior.
Which one do you like better, Jamie?
I like normal Christmas because I get to see all my like cousins and everything.
Aw.
Okay, here, Jamie. Christmas. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. Christmas Eve is way better, right? It's the anticipation. It's the
Why are you even debating this?
Once you open the gifts, it's over. It's done. And then you're like, oh, it's over. Christmas Eve is like, oh my God, it's here. It's like you're all like, watching movies. You're singing.
You're singing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Jamie, what do you do on Christmas Eve?
Christmas Eve tomorrow. My grandparents are coming over, and we're gonna open gifts.
Cool.
Question: do you have a Kings Christmas wish list
for us to make the playoffs?
Okay, I like that. You're cool with waiting to get that gift until April, then? Okay, so nothing for Christmas. What do you ask for Christmas?
Well, I asked for like a lot of fitted hats. Like, yesterday, we were opening gifts at my other grandparents' house, and I got some fitted hats, and I asked for a little bit more. So hopefully, I'll get some more fitted hats and some hoodies.
I'm more of a snapback guy.
I respect that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. What else is on your mind tonight, man?
Well, I think it was a very ugly game tonight.
Yeah.
I stepped away after the first quarter because I went to go watch the Memphis and Phoenix game. I don't know why. And then I came back and we were just getting destroyed, and I got sad.
Man. Well, hopefully they bounce back.
Yeah, I hope so. Because these next two games are going to be tough against Denver.
Yeah, it's what's crazy, Morgan, is the fact that Jamie has been calling in for a while now, and like his voice is really starting to change to me.
Really?
He's just getting older.
I think he sounds the same. He sounds quieter right now.
Well,
too.
he definitely sounds quieter, but can you tell that your voice is changing, Jamie?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
There you go.
My parents brought it up to me the other day.
Oh,
see, I can tell these things.
Wow, Daddy Deuce over here.
Thank you. All right, Jamie. Well, hey, dude, have a good Christmas. Enjoy the time with the family, and appreciate you checking in.
Happy holidays, guys.
You too, Jamie.
You too. Man.
Such a sweet guy.
He really is. Adrian says, go get Naz Reid. Naz Reid's a great option.
Oh, yeah.
Someone who, when Gobert was out, this guy came in and got buckets, and he could stretch the floor, plays with some energy. Not a bad option.
You know, with some of these options that we talk about too, I go, because when we see them do good, they still have their flaws and their frustrating moments. I know that's an obvious statement, but
at this point, Morgan, you just need someone that can be solid out there.
Sure.
You're not asking for a starting center. All right, let's check in with our dear friend MegaLu.
MegaLu.
Hello, MegaLu. Welcome into Night Chats.
Hey guys.
How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
I just was actually like on the backup big question. I'm just curious, what if there is no trade out there?
Yeah.
What do you think our best solution is? Because I feel like Chimezie, we were at least winning the games we were supposed to win with him as center, and then it sort of fell apart against the Knicks and the Bucks. You know what I mean? Where they were just putting him out there to run, and it kind of didn't work out so great. And I feel like Neemias just needs reps, and a lot of reps at the NBA level. The G League's great, but it's not the NBA. And so I don't know. I guess the one thing I saw today was that he put KZ in with Rashawn to kind of shore up the secondary possession factor, and hope that there's, I'm assuming, more ball pressure, more being able to turn them over more and generate more rebounding and have more second chance opportunities and create more points in the paint theoretically, which I also think Chima would be really a good complement to one of the bigs. If there's not, I think this whole, we totally romanticize, oh, Plumlee's the best backup center in the world. He kind of isn't. And clearly Mike Brown's looking for something really unique, I think, if none of these guys work, what he wants.
I do think Plumlee, though, checks some of those boxes of what he wants, right? Plumlee has some passing ability, right? He's got some good size. He rebounds well. So I think that's why his name gets brought up. But if a deal doesn't get made, and talking to people at the G League Winter Showcase in Vegas, all the execs were there. I mean, it's quiet right now. There's not a lot of people talking, and I think it's just weird time where you've got so many teams. We always talk about the West, but same thing in the East, where you've got a lot of teams kind of bunched up in the same area. Who's really trying to make a push here? Who's trying to maybe take a step back and go, we want to get into the draft or whatever. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. As far as what you're saying with Chimezie, I just think with him, when he was at his best this year, for stretches, he was playing the right way offensively, wasn't trying to force too much. He was in that dunker spot, getting some good looks.
Playing smart.
Yeah. And I think defensively, there are just, mental mistakes with him a lot of times. And he had a stretch where he was really locked in. And so here's the thing, we've seen it this year with this team. Just because you're out of the rotation doesn't mean you won't get back in at some point, right, Morgan?
And you guys, I think too, Mike Brown, with his defensive philosophy, his system, whatever, it's really you could plug a lot of guys in it. But are you studying the film and understanding what you need to do and where you need to be on the floor in those moments? And I think someone like Chimezie Metu, there were so many times, there's games where you would see this close to perfect defensive performance, right? Whereas more on the technique side, the fundamental side of where he needed to be on the floor, or moving with guys laterally, or understanding not to just push baseline, or not to angle his body too much. And then there's other times where it's just so inconsistent. And it's are you not growing off of all the good that you're doing? So those things keep happening with some of the guys like Metu. You also mentioned Chima, and he's one of the best, I think, one of the best rebounders on the Stockton Kings. He's one
of the best rebounders in the
G league. Yeah.
I mean, I think he's 4th in rebounding.
Okay, thank
about
you.
12 a game.
I didn't want to say unless I was positive, but yeah, so he's up there, and it's really what it is for him. It's not his body size completely; it's more his timing, right? He's just such a smart rebounder in the way that he times things out, knows where he needs to be,
and he's good at attacking the basket. I think he's had success of like drawing contact and getting to the free throw line of the G League. He had a really good showcase in those 2 games for Stockton too. And, you know, I don't know, maybe they look to, and he's not a solution really at the 5, but we're talking about from an energy perspective. To me, you also need guys that will buy into their role. Chima knows who he is as a player. Like, he's not going to come in and be like, oh, I'm going to try to drop 20. He's going to, no, I'm going to come. I'm going to be aggressive. He's another guy that does some chirping. He talks some shit out there.
And he believes that he's an elite cutter.
Yeah.
He understands moving without the basketball and
I
what
don't
he
know.
can accomplish with that. It was,
If you're
you brought it up.
If you're looking for a different look.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. But look, when we're talking about these things, I'm not talking about it because the Kings lost tonight. It's just, these are problems that we've kind of seen with the Kings this year. And it's like, okay, how do you tweak some things down the stretch? They're not the only team in the West with issues right now. They're trying to find some things. Look at like Dallas. They're trying to figure out their big situation. They love what Christian Wood provides them offensively. They hate what he provides defensively. They're trying to tweak some things. A lot of teams in the West are trying to figure out what they have. The Warriors right now, especially without Steph, a mess. They've won 3 road games this year. They're 3-16 on the road, right? So, my whole point is, like a lot of teams in the West, there's flaws, and the Kings have some, and it'll be interesting to see what they can do to try to change it. But I don't know how much movement's going to happen at around the deadline.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what I love watching about basketball is defense, and it's been really fun to watch this team, especially after last year. But I, you know, and tonight I was like, my thing was like, my God, why wasn't Davion out there way more? Like, because he's the ball pressure, or, you know, KZ, or like my favorite is Kazavion, you know, when they're both in there. But I do understand that there's a balance. If you can't make buckets, you can't win the game, obviously. But yeah, anyways, it's been fun. It's been fun to watch fun basketball, and I just encourage people to really see the big picture and not the, you know, few crummy losses which every team has.
Yes, and by the way, I felt like this year we haven't seen a lot of games like this, and tonight felt like last year a little bit, just in terms of that. You know, it was kind of ugly. The Kings did battle a little bit in the third, but yeah, it was an ugly night. And you're right. I think perspective during this time is key. Like, guys, it's a long season. Like, don't get so high, so low. Understand that, like, this team does definitely have flaws. No one's trying to say. I had someone in the chat go, Deuce, you're pumping your chest the other night saying they're 2 games out of the number 1 seed. One, I wasn't pumping my chest. My point was, it's crazy. The Kings are 2 games out of first right now. It's insane. And so this is where the West is at. It's good. They're in a good spot right now, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds.
Also, MegaLu did bring up Kazavion, and I thought that was funny. I just wanted to give love to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, hey, MegaLu, we appreciate you, and enjoy the holiday.
Happy holidays, guys.
Happy holidays.
You too. Appreciate that. MegaLu.
Love MegaLu.
Great perspective all the time.
Yeah. No, just realistic.
What is up, Christian? Welcome to Night Chat with Deuce and Mo.
What's up, Deuce and Mo?
What is up, my man?
How's it going? I actually met Morgan before the game today.
Oh yeah. That Christian. What's up?
Yeah, so it was really cool getting to meet you in person, and then now kind of hopping on here for Twitter Spaces. I listen to basically every pod. I just never chime in.
Basically, huh?
Get out of here.
I'm just kidding.
No, well, I'm glad you chimed in. What's on your mind after that one?
Yeah, you know, it was a tough one. It was just, you know, shots weren't going in, which was just kind of one of those nights. My big thing with the Kings is I'm just kind of curious of, you know, what are they kind of searching for when it comes to that backup center role? I mean, I look at a team like Utah that has some interesting players, that I think could be, you know, a team to look at if they decide to kind of do some selling at the deadline. Like, I think Jared Vanderbilt can provide a lot of value for the Kings. And then also, you know, Kelly Olynyk, I could see playing a similar play style as Domas. I mean, I don't necessarily know if he's, you know, a backup center in the league.
Yeah.
But he's not necessarily the greatest starter in the league. So that's kind of just a weird spot as well.
And Christian, you know, with you, Utah's going to be interesting to watch, right? Because they're playing well, right? Like, they're annoying. And I said before the season, I'm like, God, I just have a feeling they're going to be one of those pesky, annoying teams. With that said, I didn't think they were going to be this good for this long. And here we are with it. They're in the thick of things. And Markkanen Markkanen's going to be an all-star this year in all likelihood. I mean, the guy's been incredible. As far as what they do, what path they choose, I don't know. You know, Ainge is tough to read. You know, everyone thinks he's going to make deals, and then he doesn't make deals. We've seen that with Boston. I think so many Kings fans get caught up with Vanderbilt, and not to say he's some untouchable guy, but if you're the Utah Jazz.
Why?
He's young.
Right.
He's under contract on a cheap contract. You want guys like that a part of what you're trying to build. It makes no sense to move on from him. And so I just don't see that. Olynyk, those vets, yeah, maybe it's something different, but I don't know. I mean, right now they're having success, especially, you know, Conley's back. When Conley was out, they were kind of in a funk. They're a team that plays hard. They play the right way. I don't know if they're going to be able to maintain this for the rest of the season at all, but I just don't envision them going into sell mode like crazy and getting to the point where they want to move Vanderbilt.
Right. Yeah, no, I see it. I mean, their direction is just so interesting. I mean, you know, Markkanen's obviously tremendous this year, and it's like, are they going to try to build around him, or are they just kind of like, you know,
I mean,
just
to
see what
me,
we got and go forward?
I don't, you know, everyone's like, hey, tank. And I always push my pushback on this is like, hey, even if Utah said tomorrow, we're tanking, we're trading Conley and we're trading Clarkson and Markkanen and Vanderbilt, and we're just going to play the bet. It doesn't mean you're going to get the number one pick. And it's like, cool. And then you end up with number 4, and then you don't get Victor. And then what do you have? Like, so to me, Markkanen, the guy's healthy. He's playing the best basketball of his career. He's what, 24, 25 years old, and he's on a good contract? Keep that guy. Right? Like, I want him. Imagine next year if you got, you know, if you do fall apart a little bit and you get lucky and you do get the number 1 pick, and all of a sudden you got Victor, you got him, or what happens you get number 2? You get him and Scoot out there with Vanderbilt. You're building something.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, a guy like Markkanen on the Kings too would just be insane.
Oh,
but
dude.
Obviously, that is a pipe dream. That's my Christmas wish.
Yeah, I know. I've even tried to, you know, I've talked myself a little bit into Porzingis with the way he's been playing this year, but he's so injury prone.
Yeah, why?
But Markkanen is 25 years old.
He's injury prone.
It's the timeline.
Yeah. Well, he definitely fits the Kings timeline, but again, if you're Utah, I just don't. He's team friendly deal, playing at an all-star level. I just don't see it.
Yeah, and I just want to say lastly too that, you know, I was telling my brother and my dad, I'm like, you know, of course Kyle Kuzma goes off tonight. He's definitely like auditioning for, you know, the Kings to try to come and get him, you know. So
oh, dude, he wants to be in California. Awesome. He wants to be in California so bad. And I think he wants to. I do. I think he wants to play with Fox. So who knows how that's all going to shake out. I think he was extra motivated for sure.
Definitely. And I'm kind of curious if the Kings look to go for him or if they try to, I don't know.
Well, look, they almost got him before. They almost got him before.
True.
All right. Hey, man, enjoy the holiday and appreciate you checking in with us, man.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Dude, you have a pod. You didn't promote your pod. I just looked at your bio. Small Ball Podcast. You have a podcast?
Yeah. So you know the Island Boys video?
Oh, yeah. I've seen that. That's you guys.
Yeah. So that's us there. I live in Phoenix, but I'm home for the holidays. Grew up a Kings fan. But yeah, we just mainly tried talking about all the small market sports teams. Like we hate hearing about the Lakers, the Knicks. So we try to talk about like Orlando, like, and the Cavs and the Bucks and stuff like that. So yeah, big supporters of small market sports teams.
All right. Well, check out Small Ball Podcast. It's on Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. I'll have to check it out too, man. Appreciate you chatting with us, man. Good chat.
Yeah, hell yeah, brother. Have a good one.
All right.
Thanks,
see ya.
Christian.
Keep creating, man. Keep going.
Hell yeah, man.
Morgan's getting really tired. We're gonna get through this. I have a couple things I want to get to. You know, I get emotional around Christmas time.
No, and I'm good. I think my eyes are just heavy.
Okay.
Do they look heavy?
Yeah, they look really heavy.
I can feel it.
Yeah.
Can I do the rest of the pod like this?
If you really want to.
Okay.
Hey, JC. JC? I don't know why JC I said it like. Is it
JC.
Are you there? JC.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. We've never talked to you before.
Yeah, I'm one of Jamie's friends. He told me to join.
Yes.
How old are you, man? 13?
Yeah, I'm 13.
You a Kings fan?
Yeah, kinda.
Kinda.
I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. What's kinda?
So I'm a Jamie's friend. What?
What does kinda mean?
I don't know. I'm not really a basketball fan.
Oh, got it. I see.
Okay, so you just Jamie told you to call in, so you called in just to. What do you want to say? Like,
I don't know.
That's awesome. Hey, what did you ask your parents for Christmas?
Yes, you did.
Clothes. A lot.
Okay, well, name one thing.
Shoes.
What kind?
Vans and Crocs.
Did you say Crocs?
Yeah.
Hey, let me just tell you, I got my first pair of Crocs like 2 months ago. Life changing. All right, JC. Well, I mean, awesome conversation tonight. I feel like we really got to know you. Have a Merry Christmas, man. And you know what? I'm gonna challenge you something on Christmas Day. Why don't you turn on some NBA games?
I think you'll enjoy.
Okay.
And then call us back and tell us what you think. Okay.
Okay.
All right. There
Thanks,
you go.
JC.
Yeah, JC, great stuff there.
That was sweet. I love.
Why is he talking like he's smoking a cigarette out in the cold?
13.
Oh my God. Let's check in with. Let's check in with Nate. What's up, Nate? Or as he's called on Twitter, Nader Tots.
Oh.
I like that.
Nader Tots.
Nate, don't leave us hanging, man. Unmute yourself. You there?
Oh, I was muted. I apologize.
It's all good.
Hey, thank you guys so much for taking my call. The last time I called in was after the Cavs win on the road, so I was super fired up, and I was talking about we can win any game, which of course still is the case. But I also wanted to call in on a little bit more of a somber night, just to kind of put things in perspective. You know what I mean?
Hey, wait. So just to be clear, you're offering us some perspective, but somber? It's going to be bad?
No, not. Let's remove somber because it's Christmas Eve. You know.
Okay.
I'm just not. When I called you after when I called in after the Cavs game, I had a post game cocktail. I was fired up because we won. I'm just not. You know, I'm not as fired up tonight because we didn't win. But that's okay. You know, that's life. We're gonna have some ups and we're gonna have some downs.
For sure.
I got a couple things to touch on. I'll make it quick because I know Morgan's super tired, like we all are.
No, I'm good. I'm golden. My eyes are just. I think it's just my eyes. I sound like a kid trying to stay.
I had COVID 3 weeks ago, and I swear I had some like weird COVID eyes. My eyes were like weird, and like I was seeing bright spots. But anyways, that's not what I called about. For one, last time I called in, you know, I was like, the Kings can win any game, which of course is the fact. And I don't want to just be like Mr. Obvious here, but after 2 of the 3 last games where we've had some bad losses, it's just evident that while we can win any game, we of course can never get cocky and just assume that we're going to beat bad teams, because in the NBA, if you don't bring it, you're going to lose the game. And I just feel like there's a very fine line between winning and losing. So
yeah,
I'm not panicking. You know, these have been 2 pretty bad losses, but this is just kind of the current NBA that we live in. Like,
dude, okay. I'm so glad. I love that perspective, and I know you're probably going to keep going, but really quick, just because I think some people get mad when like Malik Monk says something like, "Hey, you know, it's the NBA. You're going to have these nights," and I understand it's 2 in the same week, and that's what worries people or they don't believe it and it's frustrating. But like, I mean, do I need to say it again? These guys are human, and you see how athletes play day by day, and it's just always not going to click. And I just feel like sometimes it is going to happen twice in a week.
No, you're
Totally.
right.
And I feel like from reading comments on like King's social media, whether it be Twitter or Instagram or whatever, it's kind of funny to me. Like any loss that we have, it seems like the pulse of the fans is like, here we are going again. We're terrible. Like the season's over, and it's like, yo, guys, relax. Like, like let's realize that was a bad loss, and we're a lot better than we used to be. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think for me this year, it's understanding that this team, in my opinion, is good enough to be a few games above 500 for a season, but they're also a 500 team. And when a 500 team, that means you lose half your games. Breaking news. Okay. So the Kings will this year go on another 4-game skid. It's going to happen, right? It sucks, but it's going to happen. And you have to find ways to improve. But it's just, again, how do you get out of it? I think the other perspective I have is, holy shit, this team started 0-4 this year.
Right.
0-4.
Totally. That's
here,
a great remembrance for everyone.
I mean, they're 17-14 right now. I don't like when they lose games like this at home. I think that's what bugs me. I'd much rather these games be lost on the road because I want them to get to a point where home is like, people are scared to come here.
Yes.
I was sitting next to the Washington Wizards play-by-play voice, and after the game, he said, he goes, man, Wizards got to win over a good team.
Yeah.
And
we know.
And we talked to so many people. I know I'm repeating myself a little bit here from the other night, but being in Vegas for the last 5 days, talking to people around the league, people are like, yeah, they're a good team.
Like and using that terminology.
Yeah. So I think people around the league see that they see it and they're like, yeah, this is a good team. It doesn't mean they're perfect. Obviously, they're not championship contending, obviously, but they're fun and they're going to be up and down a little bit. Just enjoy the ride.
And you guys, just really quick too. I think someone in our chat, Ragnarok Now, wrote 20 years of Kings losing DNA is going to take a minute to rewrite. And it's also a fair way to look at Kings fans. And when they do freak out, in so many different ways, it's like they're just traumatized too, but they do need to start like embracing that, hey, things can be different, and don't be afraid to embrace it.
Totally. I think there is definitely this big sense of like panic because it's like, oh my God, we lost a couple bad losses. This is the old Kings. But it's like, it's sort of like the way society is. If you don't give us immediate results, we're just going to panic and everything's terrible. But I completely agree. Like, things are going to be fine. These were 2 bad losses out of the 3, but I'm not going to panic. I also need to I want to give you a little love, Deuce, because, I'm going to give Christmas Eve. I'm going to put Christmas Eve over Christmas Day.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I needed that.
And it's different for everyone. Christmas Day is very special. So my parents split up when I was really young, and everything's been totally great. They're remarried, and life's fantastic. But Christmas Eve brought the hype of Christmas. I got to open. I'm very spoiled, so here I am just talking about my spoiledness. But I got to open presents on Christmas Eve, have Christmas Eve dinner, and look forward to Christmas Day. Whereas Christmas Day, by the time you hit noon, it's like, God, this was all great, but it's kind of over.
Yeah, you're thinking, and the Christmas lights don't hit the same on Christmas night. You know what I'm saying? Like you just look at it different. The Christmas lights and the tree, everything looks so magical before.
You know
Christmas
why? And
Day.
you want to know why, you guys? It's because Christmas Eve night, if you're looking at lights and everything, you're like, you feel this sense of magic, like Santa's up there riding his sleigh, just dropping presents, and you see him go past the moon and you hear a little jingle. I get it.
Yep.
Totally. It's like when Christmas Day comes, it's like, my guy Santa's gone. Like, I just got to, I have to act excited about this turtleneck that my aunt gave me that I don't like, but it's all good because we're really fortunate.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
No,
I know.
you're fine.
I just want to touch on one last thing. I don't know what to say about the backup center position. I was totally with you guys when you guys were in Vegas on Monday about, I feel like Rashawn Holmes could be getting these minutes and Chemezi Metu as well. So I really don't know what to do in that regard, and I'm not going to offer an explanation. But aside from that, I just want to say that I think Harrison Barnes is invaluable. I always see on Twitter his name mentioned in trades. And of course, I'm totally for improving the team. Like, if you could bring in a guy that can improve the team, but I would unless it's like, I don't know, Pascal Siakam or DeMar DeRozan, I just feel like we're better off with Harrison Barnes being on a roster and let his contract expire and go from there, because having the veteran presence of him in the late game situations, he just puts his head down and gets a foul. I just can't say enough good things about Harrison Barnes. So if we do trade him, it better be for a GD good piece, because I think he's fantastic for this team.
Yeah, we talked about that the other night too. Appreciate that, Nate. Thanks for checking in. Merry Christmas, dude.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you guys. Thank you so much for having me on. Right?
Yeah, I think the Barnes thing is definitely, I think we've hit on it, but he's very important to this team. And then, long term, what do the Kings do? Like, remember Sasha Vezenkov?
That guy.
They wanted to bring him over. It sounded like they were going to. He's tearing it up over there in Europe this year. Like, one of the best players in EuroLeague. He's more of an offensive-minded guy. I know they've gone to see him.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that over the offseason. It's a long ways to go with that one.
Long ways.
I
wanted to give a shout out.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's give it a shout out.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I'm going to grab it.
Okay. Audio people, Morgan is grabbing this piece of paper.
Okay. So if you look at this, and I think it should be good, it's this poster.
Yeah, you could show it.
There we go. Kings pregame live, Kings versus Hawks on November 23rd. It was the first game that Deuce and I got to live out a dream together and host a show on NBC Sports California. And NBC, Justin, got these made and had people around the office sign it. And it brought tears to my eyes. It's one of the coolest. I've never been treated so well by a company, especially in this cutthroat business. And it's just there's so many badass, amazing people at NBC, and we're just so lucky for them in this opportunity. It was really something else. I don't want to cry.
No, it's really cool for the audio people. So it's this print up, and it's got me and Morgan on it. And at the top it says Kings Hawks November 23rd to commemorate when we hosted, and it has a Kings pregame live with Deuce and Mo, postgame live immediately following. And for me, it was so cool to see it. And we're gonna frame this for sure.
Hell yeah. Don't bend it.
It seems like such a small thing, but I'm the first time I hosted last year when Morgan was off and I hosted pre and post, it was a Kings Mavs game. I saved my NBC cards. I had all my notes on it.
Yeah.
This was the first time. And then having that tonight, and seeing that, I was just that's just such a thoughtful gift. It really put a capper on this week for me. God, I feel like I'm gonna tear up talking about it now.
It's because we're tired.
No, it's
rewarding and amazing.
Getting the call. We don't have agents.
No.
So
and
in this business, we could, but also, I've also had an agent tell me, 2 years ago, I'll never forget it. One agent who seemed like he was interested told me, I feel like you've plateaued. Give it another year, and then I'd probably move on. And all that did was put a bigger chip on my shoulder.
And make more opportunities come up.
And that guy wrote a book that no one read. But I can't believe someone tried to do that and discourage me. And what irritates me about that person was he probably has said that to other people and they gave up.
And that's bullshit.
I don't give up because I've been through a lot in my life.
Right.
But anyway, what I wanted to get to was, a lot of times agents can push for you to get certain opportunities, whatever. We've really had to try to create some, build, real, genuine relationships and get some. And the fact that we both got called by the NBA to broadcast the NBA G League Winter Showcase in Vegas, doing 2 games a day. And yesterday, my final game was a 5 o'clock, 5:30 tip off. Morgan had one game after that. I finished that game after doing sidelines, and I left the gym exhausted. And I told Morgan, I texted her about this. I'm just like, I feel like people talk about when they finish a marathon.
Yeah.
The feeling, right? It's exhaustion, but it's this exhilarating feeling, overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I felt so overwhelmed by this because I was just in such a grind mode. It's like we're doing the games, prep games, night chat, prep, that when I was done, it was like I was tearing up
Like
because
you did it.
like I dreamed of doing this as a kid.
I know.
And I got this opportunity, and it just feels so amazing. It feels so amazing that, I've said this before, but like so many times it's like, oh, he doesn't have sideline experience. He doesn't have play-by-play experience. And I'm like, just give me the ball and let me cook. Okay. And I will cook for you. And I was so happy getting the chance. I feel like I played. I feel like I did it at a really solid level. There's, for me, I'm very nitpicky with myself. There's always things I get better at. But my whole point is it was just such an emotional experience, and it felt so good. Even tonight, like people coming up to us and congratulations, and I'm like, thank you. Like it was probably, this week was probably one of the most rewarding times of my entire professional career.
And I think one of the greatest parts about it too is that the people along the way that are trusting us and giving the opportunities to us too, and like it's validating to the work and the time that we're putting in, but also to like that there really are so many good people in this business. And it's crazy because when I first started in this business, it wasn't that. Not only was I in LA, but even other places.
When we did sports radio together, like it got to a point with sports radio where a boss came in at one point and told Morgan not to talk. And
because I was a woman. And
hey, you can ask some questions, and that was it. And that's not easy. That hurts someone's confidence.
Forever, you would think.
But, for us, just getting reps and challenging each other and, the community that we have here at the podcast.
But that's exactly.
And I don't just say that. I know people think, oh, you're being cheap pop here. You're trying to no, I'm being dead serious. If we didn't get the response tonight, chat, when we didn't even know we were going to get a response, we were doing it because we just wanted to get better and we wanted to do something fun. I don't think we get the chances at NBC Sports. We don't get the chances at NBA stuff. And so I think the response has been great. And it's amazing. It really is. I always tell people who want to get in the business this, and I mean this, I didn't get into the business to be like, oh, I want to be famous. I want this to do. No, you know what I want to do in my life? Because growing up, we didn't have money, going to get food stamps, welfare, stress, constant stress. All I wanted to do in life is get to a point where I could do something I love in sports and make a living and be happy. And right now, I am doing that. And how many people come up, hey, do you guys want to work at ESPN in the future? Do you guys want to go national? I'm like, I had someone this weekend, a basketball exec go, so what do you want to do? You want to get out of Sacramento at some point? I'm like, honestly, I don't care. No,
I know.
I want to, if I did this night chat for the next 20 years and I could do broadcast work and hang out, this is what I would do.
Someone was asking me about like, oh, would you want to just call a whole bunch of college games? And I'm like, no, my heart is in the NBA. And I know for some people it's like, yeah, because it's the big league. And it's like, no, because that's literally where my heart has been since I was a child doing projects on Chris Webber in the 5th grade. It's like, that is where I know I can ultimately be one day, but it doesn't matter because I'm happy being a part of all these different roles that I am now. And yeah, like we always say, we couldn't be here without you. And the whole It Takes a Village, it's you guys consuming our content, night in and night out with us. Like, you're also doing the work, whether you find it fun or not, like you're doing the work and being here. So just thank you for taking that time, your time,
and enjoying the journey with us, because it's It's been fun. And the last couple of days, like I had never done sideline reporting before in my life. I had zero doubt.
Yeah.
I could do it. I do want, there was one, okay, we should just tell this story as we wind down. So one of the games, it was like the second to last game, or second to last day there. And we were doing a game, my first hit.
Was this an NBA TV hit?
No, it was not NBA TV. I crushed my NBA TV stuff. This was a game on the NBA app.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm doing, you guys tossed me to do my sideline. The buzzer goes off like right by me, like in my ear. I couldn't hear myself. I stumble. It was one. I don't know what happened.
I hate that feeling.
It was like I had the biggest turnover.
I had a hit like that on ESPN on one of my days.
You're being too hard on yourself.
No,
you're being too hard.
It wasn't as like buzzer in my ear bad, but it was like anybody that can understand words would be like, "What?"
I was so pissed off. I was literally pissed off, and
he was.
But you know what I did?
For the rest of the game.
Literally,
Oh,
I was
you bounced back.
I was writing down my next one and telling the producer, "Hey, I got a hit here in the second. I got this story if you want me to get to, if you don't mind it." And then I bounced back for sure. It was my worst moment the entire week. It was my worst. It irritated me. We bounced back, but my whole point to that is just overall, it was just such a gratifying feeling, and I'm still trying to process it all because we've been on the go. I was able to process it a little bit last night, but like, you know, I'm gonna process it this weekend.
Yeah,
because
tomorrow.
I'm really, really happy that we're able to do something we love. And hey, if the Kings decide NBC's like, yo, we should add a sideline reporter next year, maybe Deuce Mason gets that call.
Hey,
huh?
you got some
I got some reels now.
Yeah.
I interviewed some players after. I had some nice hits.
Oh, dude, I always say this, and I don't need to compliment you right now, but like as a sideline reporter, you fucking crush it. No, you do. Your ability to connect and ask questions to people, I think, is one of your best skill sets, and it's something I have so much more work I need to do with just the confidence. Like I ask my questions, and
that's about reps. You
right?
just gotta get reps.
Right.
And you've gotten so much better at it.
Well, thanks, but no, truly, like your ability as a sideline reporter is just like it's top notch.
Well,
Good
thank
job.
you. I appreciate that. Couple of things we should mention. Like we keep talking about, what we did. We work with some talented people. Was working with some awesome producers who work for NBA TV.
Oh my gosh.
And Warner Media. You work with some ESPN people, but a couple of people we got to work with. Jacob Toby is this like young 25-year-old broadcaster who did play-by-play. The nicest guy ever.
So much
Great
energy.
It was so much fun to work with him.
He made it such a joy.
And then you guys may not know, some hardcore fans may know this name if you watch G League and some of the pay attention to the Warriors. Kevin Dana, who's been the voice of the Santa Cruz Warriors for 10 years. And I did play-by-play, and he was a color analyst for a couple of games. And this guy, I call him Mr. G League too, because he knows so much about the G League. He has such a great passion for the league. He is so good at what he does.
I know.
And it made my life easy.
I was gonna say, so is this your way of saying step up your game with your color, Morgan?
No, you do great. I'm just saying he is just like it's crazy. I was just telling him, like, dude,
he's so
you're
good.
so good. I'm like, you need to know how good you are.
His energy, and him as a person, like, again, they only handpick really nice people. Really nice people. That's what they care about, because they're like, these are the people we're going to be around for a while. So hey, I guess we're really nice people, huh?
Can I just one sidebar? One sidebar.
What?
As we're so positive, Scotty C, I just need you for one time in the chat, especially now that it's Christmas Eve, just to be nice, okay?
What did he say?
Just please. He brings the energy. Now bring the fire questions. I ask good questions, man.
Wait, I don't think he was saying that.
No, he is. No, Morgan, you don't know Scotty C. He's so negative in this.
Well, let's just not even.
Morgan's tapping like, just stop talking about it. I'm just saying, he's been doing it all night.
Who gives a fuck? I'm so sorry to say it. Okay. I'm gonna say it because like, who cares? Sorry, Scotty C. Just have a good Christmas, man. It's all good.
Adrian says, do you guys study all the G League names before the games? Yes, we do a lot of prep on G League stuff beforehand. So, anyway, to wrap things up tonight, now that it's Christmas Eve, my favorite Day of the year.
Yes.
Thank all of you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the next couple of days before the next Kings game. Appreciate your guys' support. It's crazy to see how much this has evolved over the last couple of years on Night Chat, and let's enjoy the ride together.
Yeah. The amount that you guys are joining us, it's so appreciated. It just makes this whole journey worth all of it. So thank you so damn much.
We love you guys so much, but we got to go.
Happy holidays to you and your families. See ya.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you